Hello everyone, my name is Whitney Stalnaker and I'm the Education and Public Programs Manager for the Cleveland History Center. For today's Crime in Cleveland video, we're going to be talking about one of the most perplexing cases in Cleveland's crime history, the case of Dr. Sam Sheppard. Unlike the other stories in this series, this story actually begins with the crime. In the early morning hours of July 4th of 1954, Dr. Sam Sheppard called his neighbor in Bay Village and reported that his house had been broken into and he and his wife brutally attacked while they slept. According to Sheppard, he had been asleep on the downstairs couch when he was awakened by screams coming from upstairs. He got upstairs to see an unknown man standing over his wife, brutally attacking her. When Dr. Sheppard went to confront the man attacked him and knocked him unconscious. When Sheppard regained consciousness, he discovered that the man had moved downstairs but had not yet left the house, so he chased him out onto the beachfront, where he said he was again knocked unconscious. When he woke up, the man was nowhere to be found, and his wife was, unfortunately, dead. Sam Sheppard was arrested for the murder of his wife on July 30th of 1954. During the trial, the prosecution made the claim that Sheppard himself had perpetrated the attack on his wife and staged the crime scene to appear as a home invasion to throw people off. They pointed specifically to some odd circumstances of the crime scene when they arrived. Specifically, Sheppard was not wearing a shirt when the police arrived to investigate, and his shirt could not be found. Further, he didn't appear to have any sand in his hair, in spite of his claim that he was knocked unconscious on the beach. The defense countered by stating that, in spite of the fact that the crime scene was very gory, Sheppard barely had any blood on him at all, and that he was also extensively injured during the attack. Although they had a neurosurgeon confirm this with his findings after he had examined Sheppard, unfortunately, it was not enough, and Sam Sheppard, after 4 days of deliberation by the jury, was sentenced with second-degree murder. In the years that followed, evidence came to light that perhaps Sam Sheppard had not been given a fair trial. Ultimately, in November of 1966, the case was reopened on the grounds that the original jury's decision might have been compromised by the media circus that surrounded the original trial. In the months that followed Sam Sheppard's arrest, the media absolutely vilified him and called for his indictment before the trial had even begun. Because of this, the jury was compromised and never sequestered, even though the judge was aware that they had been exposed to this media. That, coupled with the fact that the defense was denied access to a key piece of evidence against Sheppard, led people to believe that a retrial was necessary. Ultimately, in November of 1966, after 12 hours of deliberation, the jury determined that Sam Sheppard was actually not guilty of the murder of his wife. Unfortunately, although Sam Sheppard was released following the retrial, he was never able to truly come to terms with his turbulent past. After his release, he was hired by the Youngstown Osteopathic Hospital to perform surgery, but unfortunately, an increasing addiction to alcohol compromised his surgical skills, and within a few months he resigned after 2 wrongful death suits were brought against him and the hospital. In August of 1969, his career took an unexpected turn, to say the least, when he began practicing as a professional wrestler under a very curious name of Killer Sam Sheppard. Killer Sam participated in 40 matches between August of 1969 and the spring of 1970. Unfortunately, he was never able to control his alcohol addiction, and he succumbed on April 6th of 1970, dying at home in Columbus, Ohio. After Sheppard's death, his friends and family worked tirelessly to clear his reputation, culminating in a civil trial for wrong imprisonment in 1999. During this trial, new evidence came to light that handyman Richard Eberling could have been responsible for Marilyn Sheppard's death. Eberling worked as a handyman for the Sheppards during the time of the murder and had a long and complicated criminal history of his own. In fact, Eberling was never able to be pursued as a suspect because he died in prison in 1998 while serving a life sentence for a murder of a lady in Lakewood. In 2000, the trial was overturned, stating insufficient evidence to support the fact that Sheppard was wrongfully imprisoned. To this day, the identity of Marilyn Sheppard's murderer remains somewhat of a mystery. I hope you've all enjoyed this overview of one of Cleveland's most famous unsolved mysteries. As I'm sure you can imagine, a case like this is very hard to wrap up in a 5-minute video. So if you're interested, I definitely recommend that you go exploring on your own and learn about the complexities of Sam Sheppard and this trial, because it really is fascinating. To start your search, you can go to our digital Cleveland Starts Here archive at wrhs.org. I also recommend that you check out all of our great resources that we've made available online through our History at Home webpage, which I'm linking below. Until next time, stay safe and thanks for joining.